So in this second series, like I said, we are going to revisit the outrage, the Malian cancellation, Naira Marley's defense video, Iyabo Ojo's activism, VDM's fire, Samklef's commentary, and the unanswered questions. And of course, you know there are many of them, right? So in September 12th, no, sorry, by September 12th, 2023, Nigeria froze. Yes, you heard me well. Nigeria froze and Nigeria was like on a standstill. Mohbad, was announced to have died at the age of 27. Just like that, our Imole, our light dimmed forever. And even as I do this video, even as you hear the sound of my voice, we are still talking about Mohbad because it doesn't seem to have been able to find rest. And that is why at the end of this my series, the last part of the series, part 3, I'll be talking about how the best way to give Mohbad a befitting burial so that we all can have a closure to this whole story that has been lingering all over Nigeria's social media space. So the street, like I said, exploded on that September 12th, 2023. Lagos cried. Nigerians on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, everywhere screamed. And even as I do this video, the screaming hasn't stopped. Justice for Mohbad rented the whole air. And as I do this video, this justice for Mohbad cries has not ended. The hashtags trended for weeks. Celebrities all over the place had something to say. Celebrities like Iyabo Ojo led protests and took the mantle of leadership to be at the forefront of justice for Mohbad. And I know that with benefit of hindsight, maybe she would have acted more maturely or differently, but that is not to take away the fact that she went in all out based on the videos that every one of us saw out there. And she too, like many of us, concluded that Naira Marley should be held responsible. Even VDM at the beginning said so. I myself doing this video, based on what I saw and the news out there, I felt like Naira Marley, even though it wasn't the immediate, might not be the immediate cause of that spying, but I felt like he has to be held accountable one way or the other. So I'm not going to be here blaming the likes of Iyabo Ojo. Of course, I know she could have handled it better. Maybe she was too emotional and stuff like that. But when the tension was clear, in my opinion, or maybe she was a pawn in the hands of other people unknowingly to her. I don't know. I wasn't there. Okay? So like I said, the likes of VDM, they all, jumped into it, giving their own version here and there, giving their interpretations, so it was an online daily issue. People demanding investigations every day. Tonto Dike also spoke at some time. She was, moving all over the place, trying to also find justice. Samklef, and a bit of so many other people here and there. Okay? Samklef was known to have dropped live updates, several live updates at that time. Even regular Nigerians who did not even know Mohbad personally took the whole matter personal because his last cry for help was public. If anything happens to me, hold Naira Marley responsible. Okay? We saw this video. Even though we also saw another one where he was also saying if anything happens to him, the wife should be held responsible. In fact, in that video, it was, if it is true that it was actually Imole that was talking there, in that video, Imole was even saying that the wife wanted to buy him. That it was on video. That is assuming that video is correct. So it is, I'm going to say, it's been alleged that in that video, that was what he said. Because now I wasn't there. And I can't also vouch for the authenticity of that video. So I'm just being careful right here. But that is what I'm saying. If that video by chance is actually Mole, he actually he called the wife out as well. So why some people are now saying, okay, the same man who called out Naira Marley that if anything happens to me, they should hold him responsible. Why people believe that one? Why are the same set of people now saying that they call that the wife should also be held responsible and should not be taken serious? Because according to the wife, she allegedly said that Mohbad made that video about him when they had an issue, and that it was nothing serious. He was drunk. He didn't know what was in, blah blah blah, and the rest. But why is it that when it was the turn of Naira Marley, suddenly he was not mad? He was not. He was normal. So that's, let's just leave that one for another day. But what I'm trying to say is that, so because of the videos that were all over the place, because of the fight that happened some time ago when Imole went to the Malian house, and a fight, ensued, and they fought. He had some marks on his body, and he cried that. But the truth of the matter is that that incident happened a long time, before the pine issue. So possibly by the time in that pipe, a lot of people started bringing all those videos out. Okay. And a lot of people now felt that, okay, possibly those things happened that same day or a few days before that time, but it was far apart. And the irony again is Naira Marley wasn't even in the country. But this is not to absolve him from the issue of maybe not treating his artists very well. Yes, I'm not absolving him from that. I'm not also saying he wasn't part of the bullying. I can't say that. I can't say that because I don't work with them. So that aside, so that single video, that if anything happens to me, hold Naira Marley, turn the tide. Nigerians did not wait for police. They did not wait for autopsy. They judged immediately. In fact, me self, I did this matter. I joined people in judging. Okay? So Naira Marley became the villain. Sam Larry, his associate, the alleged bully, also thrown in the fire, and rightly so. Radio stations banned Malian music. Zinoliski's tour, which has been planned, was cancelled. And so were many other things that were already planned that were cancelled. Clubs refused to play their songs, of course, for obvious reasons, because Nigerians were very, very still angry. So which club is going to play that music? It may not go down well with that club. So clubs joined in the cancellation. It was cancellation like never before, I tell you. Nigerians were united. We don't want anything Malian again. That was the cry at that time. And even up to now in some quarters. Fast forward, to when Naira Marley, because while he died, the story was that Naira Marley was out of this country. Same with Sam Larry. So when he returned, according to the story, they said he returned in order to honor the police invitation. So fast forward to when he returned back to Nigeria to honor that police invitation. So he was promptly, detained. I was in custody allegedly for almost 3 months. Okay? So we can say apart from the mental torture of being accused of buying Mohbad, because if actually he was not the one that buying Mohbad and is not being accused of buying him, you can imagine the mental torture that that guy will have gone through in the whole of that 3 months that he was kept away. So, but I can tell you that he also lost a part of himself. Okay? And his career, I mean, was in ruins completely. Even as I'm talking now, I'm wondering what kind of repair that will ever happen again to his music and to the record label. I'm wondering who is going to be who's going to be comfortable sending their kids or brothers or loved ones to that record label. It's going to be pretty difficult going forward. So I can say for sure that his career, money and everything must have really, suffered a big hit right now. So, and Nigerians just don't want to hear his name, even up to now. So fast forward again. Then came Naira Marley's 2-hour defense video. You recall that video that is making the rounds all over the social media? Yes, that video, he didn't do it at the beginning because for so many reasons, but eventually he did it just a few days ago. and that video is still trending, and I'm sure a lot of you must have watched it. And in that video, he appeared calm, almost broken, showing WhatsApp chats, calls, claiming he and Mohbad had reconciled before the boy died. Okay, I actually watched the video where they tried to reconcile. But the funny thing is that issue they had was even a long time ago. Okay, that wasn't the immediate cause of the crime. Okay, yes. So he insisted he wasn't even in Nigeria. Like I said, he asked the question, why not interrogate those who were with him in his final hours? Don't forget that very dark man on multiple occasions has also asked that he doesn't understand the sort of investigation that will go after Naira Marley, Sam Larry, every other person except those who were with this man within the last 24 to 48 hours. Because commonsensically, you will have expected that the investigation was going to start with that very set of people. But I'm not aware, that that has been done. And that has been a concern for a lot of people involved in this Mohbad saga. So Nigerians, I mean, even after the video, Nigerians were still divided. Some still don't believe him, while others others seem very sympathetic. Some try to understand with him, and maybe these people who understand with him, not understanding that there was no sort of bullying one way or the other, but understanding that he might not have been the one that killed this man. Okay, so despite the video being real, I'm talking of the video of him now trying to explain these things. Despite that video being real, a lot of people actually claim that it could have been audio, it could have been AI generated, a mockery of our intelligence, blah, 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 and the rest, So in the opinion of this group or set of people, the street had spoken already. Naira Marley is guilty. That is the conclusion of these people. But here lies the paradox, my people. Was he actually, guilty? Because the Yorubas say, when truth endures, lies disappear. But how do we find truth when anger already consumed us? How do we find truth? Because we're already consumed by this anger terribly. Okay, so and some people have been making comment on Reddit. Nigerians type painfully, Mohbad just wanted peace. Another one said, if not for Malian records, this boy will have still been alive today. Some even refer Naira Marley to Mohbad being beaten up in his house. And his word, his final word, at that time, after that fight, where he made a video and where he said, if anything happens to him, he, Naira Marley, should be held responsible. To which Naira Marley said he did not authorize that fight that happened and that they later made up. And moreover, like I said before, that was a long time ago. Still, some voices asked, was it right to ignore those who were with him in the last 48 hours, 24 hours? The same question that Naira Marley was asking. Was it right? Should not the police have investigated wider? So these are some of the questions that are reverberating all over the social media space in Nigeria after that Naira Marley video. But Nigerians did not want nuance. They wanted vengeance. And in that vengeance, Naira Marley's name, career, and empire collapsed. Yes, he was made the scapegoat. Okay? So in the part 3 of this series, which is the final series that is going to come up, we asked the hard questions. Did Nigerians go too far? Was the cancellation fair? And most importantly, what lessons must Naira Marley, Iyabo Ojo, VDM, Samklef, and all of us Nigerians learn? What are the lessons? So you are going to stay tuned to that part 3 so that you get to hear all of this. And finally, I want to say this, my people. Anger may win the day, but wisdom wins the future. In part 3, like I said, we close with lessons, forgiveness, and the road to healing. So stay tuned until then. Okay? I'll be right back. What do you think about this story? Please feel free to go to the comment section and leave your thoughts right there. God bless you. Bye bye.